Learn the fundamental skill of balancing chemical equations in chemistry. Chemical equations must be balanced to obey the law of conservation of mass, showing equal atoms on both sides. First, let's understand what a chemical equation represents. A chemical equation shows how reactants transform into products during a chemical reaction. The general form has reactants on the left side of the arrow and products on the right side. Here we see hydrogen and oxygen atoms as reactants, combining to form water molecules as the product. The fundamental principle behind balancing equations is conservation of mass. Matter cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction, only rearranged. This means the total number of atoms going in must equal the total number of atoms coming out. The same number of atoms exist before and after the reaction, just arranged differently into new molecules. Now let's learn the systematic steps to balance any chemical equation. Step 1. Write out the unbalanced equation with correct chemical formulas. For example, hydrogen gas plus oxygen gas produces water. Step 2. Count the number of atoms of each element on both sides. On the left we have 2 hydrogen and 2 oxygen atoms. On the right we have 2 hydrogen but only 1 oxygen atom. This is unbalanced. Step 3. Add coefficients in front of formulas to balance the atoms. We add a coefficient of 2 in front of water and hydrogen to balance everything. Step 4. Always verify that all atoms are balanced on both sides. Now we have 4 hydrogen and 2 oxygen on both sides. The equation is perfectly balanced. Let's work through another example to reinforce these steps. Balance the equation for iron reacting with oxygen to form iron oxide. Counting atoms, the left side has 1 iron and 2 oxygen, while the right has 2 iron and 3 oxygen. To balance, we need 4 iron atoms, 3 oxygen molecules, producing 2 iron oxide units. This gives us 4 iron atoms and 6 oxygen atoms on both sides, making the equation balanced. Here are some helpful tips for balancing equations more efficiently. Balance elements that appear in multiple compounds first, saving single atoms for last. You can use fractions temporarily during balancing, then multiply everything to get whole numbers. Never change the subscripts in chemical formulas, only add coefficients in front. Changing subscripts creates a completely different substance, which is incorrect. Only use coefficients. Let's review the key points about balancing chemical equations. Chemical equations represent how reactants transform into products during reactions. The number of atoms of each element must be equal on both sides due to conservation of mass. Always balance by adding coefficients in front of formulas, never by changing subscripts. Use a systematic approach. Count atoms, add coefficients to balance, then verify your answer.